Did you know that the most highlighted sentence of any book in the world comes from the novel The Hunger Games, Part 2? Amazon tracks all this kind of stuff on Kindle. And well, here's the most highlighted sentence in the world. Because sometimes things happen to people and they're not equipped to deal with it. Why would that be the most highlighted sentence in the entire world of any book? I think it's because we can relate to it, and it's what many of us feel these days. How many of us walked into feeling equipped for a worldwide pandemic? Or being quarantined for a long period of time for the first time? Or if you're a parent, how many of you felt equipped to all of a sudden become a stay-at-home teacher full-time to your kids while working full-time out of the house at the same time? How many of us felt equipped to start viewing toilet paper as a hot commodity? I mean, it's just weird. But these are the easy things. But what about the fear that so many of us feel crippled with every day? The fear about maybe getting the virus, or somebody we love getting the virus. Maybe the deepest thing that some of you are feeling right now is the uncertainty of the economy. Maybe you've already lost a job, or you're worried about losing a job, or maybe you're going to have to receive a reduction in your pay, like our family will be shortly. Did you know, I was reflecting this past week on Easter. Did you ever stop to think about it, that we have never experienced an Easter that was as similar to the very first Easter that happened? Think about it. The very first Easter, the disciples are in quarantine. They're hiding away in their homes, under locked doors, behind locked doors. They can't leave. They're crippled with fear. Wow. And Jesus at this moment, and he's been beaten, he's been crucified, he's dead, he's been buried in a grave, and none of them, not a single disciple, thought he was ever coming back. They're experiencing being stuck at home and in fear of the Jewish leaders. And into that environment, Jesus steps. And what he said, I think, is exactly what we need to hear today. Jesus comes to them and he says, "Peace be with you." The very first words out of his mouth is the word peace. I came to give you peace. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that comforting with what we're going through? I think it is. Okay, so if he came to give them peace, how did he give it to them? The way our minds go when we think of peace, we think that, well, maybe Jesus took away all their immediate trouble, or maybe like in our context, that would mean that the virus is completely gone, or that there would be a cure. Or maybe he gave them an immunity to all future trouble. Maybe he gave them enough money in their bank accounts so that they would be secure for the rest of their lives. And isn't that how our minds begin to go and think when we think about peace? I think if there's anything positive about what we're going through in this global pandemic, I think that it's that many people are realizing for the very first time that the places we have turned to for peace, they don't last. Isn't that true? I mean, if we look to peace and all of a sudden things get unstable or some things disappear, then we start to realize that maybe I've turned to the wrong things for peace. Maybe I need to turn to something bigger than myself or what I think I can generate in terms of peace. How does Jesus give the disciples true peace? He showed them, the Bible says, his hands and his side. He showed them how he had died for them, he was dead, and that he had risen again. He's the only person with that kind of power to give peace. He's the only person ever to conquer death. And with that, he has the power to bring a perfect peace that transcends all circumstances. Peace isn't found in the absence of trouble, but in the presence of Jesus. His presence brings peace. Are you inviting his presence into your life today?